just for you. How's it going? Sorry, I was kind of like jamming. And let me get myself in there a little bit more. I was kind of jamming in the background, lost track of that. That's got a nice little swing to it. We missed last week, but welcome to Live with K0BJJ with me, K0BJJ. And I'm not alone. Believe it or not, there's Jeff. Hey, Jeff.
What up?
And there's Chris. Hi, Chris.
Hi, Chris.
So, what a week. I posted a few videos this week. Vlog update that if you haven't seen, I really encourage you go check out because you get to go into my life a little bit more on that one. And then today, I activated 2 parks, which will be videos upcoming. So, Jeff and I were talking about some things he had going on. I think he's got a video coming out Tuesday from what he told me.
Yep, got a video dropping Tuesday night. I think it's around 1924 Eastern Daylight Time. That would be 1824 Central Time.
Yep.
It's going to be with K0BJJ, N2MAK, and KD4FMU, Ham Radio Crusader.
Nice.
So, we're going to actually Scout 75, KD9, NJJ won't be doing a video this week, though.
Well, I'm going to say Roger had a big impact on where we went today. I've been trying to get a little bit more active on the Buy Me a Coffee for our financial supporters over at Buy Me a Coffee. And I put out a post last night and I said, hey, these are some parks that I wouldn't mind going to tomorrow. Where should I go? Roger was the only one that replied to that post. And guess where we went today? Where he said he did. So, the Buy Me a Coffee group. If you go over and you spend $5, you get on a mailing list, and when I make a post, I'll send it out to you. And you can help decide what's going on with the channel, because if I'm sitting there going, I want to do a POTA, and this is what I'm thinking, I might post it to you guys and go, where do you want me to go? And in the case of Roger decided where we went. Also, we did gain another supporter over there. Over the week, we gained Listening in Radio. Gene, he is a local here. I think he's out of West Des Moines, if I remember right. He did a donation following vlog episode 4, which was about mental health and what I've been going through lately. So, yeah, it's been one of those weeks. If you would like to join the supporter group over there, here's how you can find me. There should also be a link in the description below. That's how you can get over. Like I said, $5. We only have, I used to have multiple tiers over there for like memberships. Right now we got one membership. It's $5 a month. If you do that, I think you can set up auto pay or whatever. So it comes out $5 a month. If not, as soon as you donate $5, you're in the know. As soon as someone joins that membership, I'm going to have to think of something exclusively for them. But in the meantime, as long as you donate $5, you're in the know. So, and our crowd is really supportive over there. A huge thank you to all you guys. Really, really, like in chat right now, we got Chris, we got Roger, we got 5 people watching. It was a hard week, and thank you all. This is the reason why I come back and I do this. It's this group, it's this crowd, every like on a video, every comment. You guys make it worthwhile, and the video recording and stuff actually helps with a lot of things that more than what you see. So thank you all. I know I'm rambling. We did have a request actually tonight on topic about an hour ago, and someone wants to know what I use for POTA. Well, since I also have another POTA person here, I want Jeff to say what he uses for POTA also. And since I've been rambling, Jeff, why don't you start us out?
So the question was, I missed it. I'm cooking dinner, so I might have done something where I blocked the sound from here. What do I use for POTA?
Yep. What is your POTA setup?
Well, right now, I'm using the FX4CR radio. It's a 20-watt SDR radio, really small. Very cool little radio, made by a Chinese ham named, or call sign is BG2FX. You could go to BGFX2 or BG2FX.com. See the radio. I do stress, do not buy this radio off of Alibaba, eBay, or any other e-commerce site, because you're going to get a $550 red tassel from China. Don't be an idiot. Support the developer, the original developer, BG2FX.com. Still using my ham sticks. Depending on whatever band I'm on, I will pull out that ham stick. I do have one antenna that I want to finish building. I haven't gotten to that yet. And I just also sometimes use the Buddy Stick Pro and various other bits and bobs and bags and pouches. If you've seen any of my videos, I am a big supporter of a company called Special Operations Equipment. I use a lot of their bags, a lot of their pouches. I've been a customer of them for years. The owner is in Tennessee. The company's in Tennessee. And nice guy. You got to get to know him. He's a little rough around the edges, but he's a very nice guy. Yeah, it's a lot of stuff that I use.
Awesome. And I'm not sure if you guys are hearing banging in the background. I'm pretty sure the little guy's slamming stuff up against the wall because that's his room behind me.
Hey, stop it.
But I'm hearing it with a headset and I have an earbud in on top of that. So if I'm hearing it, I'm guessing the microphone's picking it up. But anyway, kind of back to on topic. What I've been using for the longest time is I have a MFJ 1979 whip. I had been using that on a Wolf River Coils Mega tripod, and I've been using 6 16-foot radials. All right, Jeff muted himself because, yeah, that bag, he knew it was going to come. The bag was getting a little loud there. So I was using 6 16-foot radials. Now I am doing what everyone is deeming the magic carpet. I'm using the largest aluminum window screen that I could find at Menards. I laid that out, and that's what I use for ground plane. I just set the Megapod on top with that MFJ 1979 whip. I do plan on building some dipoles. I must have threw that Ballon somewhere. I got a Ballon at a Hamfest a few weeks back, and I'm planning on doing kind of a link dipole type thing. I haven't got it done yet. So that's going to be the first project we do on this desk back here. That actually I did a video on it. I think that was vlog 3 where we, installed and we stained and installed that desk that flips up and down. Which it flips up and down, yet it normally just stays up. So I should have just did it so it stayed up because that's how it lives anyway. But then my radio is a Yaesu FT891. I do use the Wolf River Coils mini loading coil if I want to do 40. That whip will do 6 through 20, no issues by itself. But if I want to do 40, I have to use that Wolf River Coils mini loading coil. So, but yeah. Just chopping something over there. I hear it.
I'm cutting green beans.
Ooh, green beans.
Yeah, I'm making my dinner because I'm always running late, and if I eat dinner after 8:00, it's not a good thing. I made a video early on about what stuff to use for Parks on the Air. I see the topic come up many times on the Facebook group. What radio should I use? What antenna should I use? Basically, those are the two big ones. And what size battery do I need?
Yep.
You're going to get a lot of opinions. You'll get some opinions where they'll be truthful about the fact that you can get whatever you want to use. Basically, that's what I kind of said in my video. get whatever you want to use, whatever you have. You don't need to go out and buy a new radio if you're just getting started out. If you have whatever, a 991, 7300, a G90, an 891, start with what you have.
And I've seen huge base stations out at parks. I mean, literally use what you have. There's people that have built like shelving units in the back of their vehicles because they bring their base out with them. And there's nothing wrong with that. I'm with Jeff on this. You want to know what equipment to use? The equipment that gets you on the air, the equipment that gets you into the park. You don't have
Yeah,
to buy anything special. Now, if you're not on a mountaintop, you might need more than a 2 meter 440.
for a
But
crowded area, a
yeah,
busy area with on calling frequencies. Yeah.
yeah. But I mean, other than when it comes to HF rigs, whatever you got, it can be as cheap or as expensive as you want it. And that's one thing that is, I want to say, nice about this hobby and what we do. It's what you want. If you want to go with a the cheap QRP and you want to go with a handmade radio, you could probably be in it for under $300 easily. I would
Yeah.
say.
The big thing is you got to think about the parks that are around you. How can you put up an antenna? Are there trees? Are there going to be trees around? Do your parks in your state parks in your state, do they allow for you to throw something into a tree, like a dipole or a end-fed half-wave antenna? You go to that, and then you say, well, maybe I can't put anything in a tree, but maybe I could stick something in the ground or on the ground or on the top of your car or on a tripod on top of the ground, whatever. You gotta kind of know where you're going to be going to, and to figure out your state laws that involve the parks and whatever Department of Natural Resources whatever might be called in your state.
Yeah, and with like just the list of parks I gave last night, I had Rock Creek, Union Grove, Neil Smith, um, Colfax, and Hendrickson Marsh. Okay, of Neil Smith National Wildlife Refuge. I've never asked him if I could put anything in a tree, but there's not that many trees out there. It's meant to be Iowa natural prairie. So my really only option is to stick a spike in the ground or use some kind of tripod. I mean, I
Um,
have to go with some kind of vertical at that point.
when in doubt, um, be smart.
Hmm.
If you don't know if you can put stuff in the tree, if you don't know if you can stick stuff in the ground, then get a tripod. But I
Yeah,
strongly suggest, besides knowing where to go, the parks and the park boundaries, um, go to your state park's website, find out as much information as you can. Do not call them up or email them because they're going to say no because they don't know what you're talking about.
and
Now,
I haven't found that out because I never call. I've had rangers come up and be like, "Hey, what are you doing?" And I tell them,
oh yeah, I mean that's fine, but
"Yeah,
if you walk up to someone or call them, one, you're going to throw them off completely, and they're going to just say no right off the bat because they don't understand what you're talking about. They don't understand what you're talking about or know what you're talking about. I was trying to say that at the same time.
mhm.
But when in doubt, look up the rules on the website. You can't. I would say you can call them and say, "Can I throw, say, like a pinata in a tree?" Just say something else or an antenna. But if you have to, second best source of information are local hams or hams in your state that have activated these parks. They will tell you what you can and cannot do.
And I would really honestly look at the parks on the air page. Jeff just hit it right there. Like if you're coming out to Rock Creek and you've never been in Iowa and you see, oh, Ben's got over 1,000 QSOs there. Hey, I'll reach out to him. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm going to tell you, hey, they don't care if you throw stuff in the trees. They don't care if you use verticals. I've had talks with these guys. Just watch out if you have any radials on the ground when they're mowing because they don't care. They'll run your radials over with the lawnmower.
Yep, that's
I
another
mean,
big thing. When you're
so
going into a park, foot traffic, where are you going to set up? Are you going to set up where there's going to be a lot of people in the parking lot, on the side of the parking lot? Is there a walkway there? you gotta kind of scope out and do a little research before you go out and start doing stuff. I will gladly tell you if you wanted to activate somewhere in Delaware. I love people emailing me to find out what can I do, where can I go, where do I go here, where do I go there, are there any twofers, blah blah blah. I've helped a few local hams, and a few out of state, and glad to help when anyone might come to this area or start doing POTA in the state.
Hold on, I gotta let a cat in here because he's meowing loud enough to where
I heard the cat meow.
Get in here.
Who let the cat in? Let the cat in.
It's my little boy here. Mario, say hi to the stream.
Ahsoka. All right, I gotta find the puppy. I will be right back.
Okay. So, this is Mario, everyone. He's one of our latest adoptees in our house. But he's a little daddy's boy. That's why he was freaking out. And I'm pretty sure that's my son just banging on the wall behind me. But anyway, so yeah, no, don't be afraid to reach out. That being said, local hams are your best resource for almost anything. I am supporting our local Newton Cardinals today. So, little small town pride here. Uh-oh, we got a POTA pup.
Well, she's not a POTA pup yet. She hasn't been out yet.
Well, she will be.
This is Ahsoka.
She's got a new series named after her.
Yes, she does. So I have to keep an eye on her. She's pretty good right now, but I need to keep an eye on her. She wandered off. So I'm actually going to stick her in her kitchen crate while I cook dinner so I know where she's at. Because she's not just a puppy. She's a poopy puppy.
A poopy puppy?
Yeah. Get it, big girl.
See, this is one of the only streams where we get interrupted regularly by your pets.
Pets, kids, whatever.
This is real life. And like last week, we didn't have a stream. You know why we didn't have a stream? Because I had to go be a dad.
Yeah, I mean, things happen. If we could actually, anyone, just not you and me and whoever, but if we actually had like an opportunity to actually set time aside and say, I will definitely be in front of my computer on the stream, hosting, co-hosting, whatever, like some of the other people do, then that's great. But I don't live those lives. We don't live those lives.
You know, there's a lot of people, they start doing YouTube and stuff when the kids are gone. And I understand why. It's because life happens.
Yeah.
They're well off in their careers. They're kind of, I don't want to say they're tailing down, but I mean, the kids are out of the house. I mean, they're not doing crazy things. And given this job, the job I have now, I worked overtime this pay cycle. You know what my overtime was? 82 hours. Like I had 82 total hours. Like when I'm used to working overtime, it's like I'm working 90-hour weeks.
Oh yeah.
This job, I got 2.5 hours of overtime in 2 weeks. I'm happy.
I've seen that before. My ex made buku money with her overtime.
But
so,
yeah,
if you have to, then yeah, you work overtime and you make some money.
The thing is, with where I'm currently working, the overtime is taboo. So even though we've been approved for overtime, I've been approved for overtime, I'm still getting limited on how much. Because, yeah, it's taboo. I was going to say, yeah, I was about to hit that. Jeff's going to cook. Hey, if you guys want to jump in on the stream, there is a pinned comment. That's how you get in. Hit it. Come on in and talk to us. I didn't have a topic tonight. VPA, K0BJJ asked me to talk about my POTA setup, so that's what we did. My topic today was get on, make sure we had a stream, and just hang out and yak with y'all. And thank you for the support over the last week because Yeah, it's been a doozy. Um, I'm used to the high stress environment, but this is a different kind of stress that I'm dealing with now, and it's it's fine.
Life.
I'll say this on record for everyone to see. I'd rather be threatened and shot at any day of the week because I'm used to that versus what I've been dealing with stress wise. It's a whole different kind of stress. I'm learning how to remanage it. So I'm fine with, gangbangers in Des Moines, ripping into me and popping shots at me. I'm good with that. But what I've been dealing with lately, I have to figure out how to manage. So it's been a week.
Yeah, life life is not easy. That's why it's called life. There's hard times and good times, and I've been there. I'm there now. I mean, I kind of have a mindset where I know stuff can happen, and it does, and you got to deal with it. Um, life.
Yeah. Well, no, and I agree. And I knew there was going to be like the mental challenges and stuff going in with this new job. I just, when people sit there and they go, "Oh yeah, I'm used to stress management," and I'm saying like, "Yeah, I get threatened. I'm used to getting threatened every night. I'm used to stuff going wrong that could, be life and death." And I've learned how to deal with that after 13 years of dealing with stuff like that on a weekly basis. And now it's like I really, in this new stress, I am don't have to worry about dying. I don't have to worry about a building burning down. But I gotta worry about my accuracy with some stuff because if I screw something up, I could really screw someone over.
Oh yeah, I know about accuracy, QA, all that kind of things. I was doing. What's up, Chris? Doing stuff for a big pharma company for their legal department,
Yeah, you know how it goes.
which is big. It's a big deal. So you want to be accurate. And the first time I started and did the first few things, I was very nervous.
Oh, hold on a second. I gotta
Very
pull
stressed
something
out.
out. I'm going, why the hell am I hearing Ben? There we go. That's better.
What'd you do, Chris?
I forgot to shut down YouTube. You know how
Oh,
it goes. I do that every once in a while. You know that. Nope. It's been actually pretty fun since I got my license. Catching the Badger weather report every morning starting at 4:30 in the morning. And I guess they go up on HF for it too. So I really got to figure out a better antenna for my Brie because I can get all the way down to I think it's 24 megahertz with it. My little handheld.
Okay.
So if
nice.
I can find a compact antenna to deploy, I can listen to the HF report. But I actually might, if I figure it out, because it's an SMA male coming out of the radio. I'm gonna have to put a BNC on there adapter so I can run, anything else. So I might end up using that for an HF rig for a little bit, but hey, it's got a mic.
Hey, there
I
you
got a
go.
mic for it. Why
As
not?
long as it works. As
Yeah,
long as it
and
works and gets you on the air.
it's 5 watts. So what?
Kevin, Ham Radio QRP the other day just posted a video where he hit a Parks on the Air entity with what was it, 500 milliwatts?
Yeah. 0.5 watts.
Yeah,
500 milliwatts.
Jesus Christ. I
and
was
that
watching.
yeah.
I'm not there yet. I have saved two of the radios he has that he does his QRP stuff on. I'm not there yet. I'm at 20 watts right now. I'm comfortable. I can make contacts. No big pileups, which kind of sucks, but I'm making contacts and I'm happy. Eventually, I'll lower the power.
Well, I lowered the
Well,
power today on my activations. I went from 90 to 50 watts.
I went from 100 to 95. I did with my DX10, but now with the FX4 and the G90, I'm going just 20 watts, which is their max. So
unless you throw an amp on it, but that's a whole other story.
I thought about getting an amp for those radios, but I'm like, nah. If I want to go higher than 20 watts, I'll pull out the DX10.
Well, and I keep looking at the G90s, and I keep looking at all these different ones. I finally figured out what my mobile rig is going to end up being, and I'm sorry, I want APRS in my truck no matter what. I don't want to worry about digital repeaters or anything. So the Radiodity, I think it's a DB25-D, does APRS both analog and digital. So it's like, why not?
Yeah. I have my own feeling with Radiodity and their stuff. They do sell the Zygu stuff, so I did buy my Zygu from them. The other radios haven't impressed me. I've watched a bunch of videos on all the different radios that they've been putting out. I'm just not too crazy about what they're doing, either Zygu or Radiodity, or however those two companies are intertwined. I don't know. But
it doesn't matter.
If you get something and it works,
yeah,
that's awesome. And if you're happy with it, that's even better. So as long as you're happy with what you have or what you buy, that's all that counts.
And yeah, get on the air. That's what matters.
Well, and that's I was looking at, everybody's like, well, it's a QRP rig. It's a QRP rig. I'm like, you know what? Who cares? It's 20 watts. Okay. Just got to figure out a battery yet.
Yeah. I mean, it depends. Someone said that 30 amp hour battery with a 100 watt radio is too much. It might be, but I have it in a box for other things too. So I could charge one of my iDevices, iPad, iPhone, or whatever. I can run a USB fan off of that thing too. And if I go away for a weekend, it's going to last me all weekend, hopefully.
But the other thing is, you got that. You're sitting out camping. You don't have power at your site or whatever. You can throw your phone on there instead of drawing off your car battery. You know, it makes sense.
And that's one of the reasons why I started running at 50 watts, because I carry around an 80 watt solar panel.
Or yeah.
There we go.
You can charge your battery up. I mean, for the G90 and the FX4CR, I got a 9 amp hour battery. I could have probably gone a little bit smaller, but I wanted a little bit more power to make sure that I had it if I was in a situation where I got these radios for.
Yeah.
Sorry. He wants to be a star today.
He
wants snuggles.
I
understand.
But, I'm just slowly but surely looking through everything. Of course, I was watching Ham Radio 2.0 before you came on, and they're making, cherry pies and all this stuff. And I'm like, yeah, I'm not there yet.
Yeah, I'm not there either. From what I've seen, All-Star, I want to get an All-Star node, but the Sherry Pie does cost some money, or the Sherry part of it does.
Yeah.
I've spent too much money this year on radio stuff, and I'll have to buy ready for it.
Blasphemy! There's no such thing as spending too much money on radio stuff. Blasphemy! Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Jeff. I'm sorry.
But I'm not at the point where I could devote time to trying to figure that out and other stuff. Besides the fact that I started to study for the extra exam again. So I want to get that done. So there's priorities.
I don't blame you at all, Jeff. Honestly, I don't.
The All-Star node is not one of my priorities. It's something very cool, and I'd like to do it.
Yeah.
But that's not a priority.
No.
So.
Yeah, I was talking to some guys over on IRL before the stream, and my priorities as far as radios goes right now is working on upgrading the computer.
Yeah.
Because I've been talking to my computer guy, which he hasn't been on here. He's been on the channel a couple times, Jason. He actually got the same Jason that got his extra the other day at the Ham Fest.
Okay.
That he's like, yeah, you should probably put an SSD in because that's really killing you. And he goes, and your GPU is so far out of date, I can't even find it anymore. So right now, as far as radio stuff goes, my two priorities are an SSD and a new GPU. So that way, I can boost up some of the video quality content. But we're also going to be making, that link dipole because I have all the stuff for it. I want to start doing some more wire antennas just because people up and down swear that the dipoles are
But then I had Brandon go and do it.
amazing. So
Where is he?
Corner house.
but
Conversation.
I'm trying to keep track of kids.
Well, her dog barked at me, so I went to go talk to the dog, and then we were having a conversation about
See,
what was
kids
on the
telling me
dogs.
what's going on with the other kids. So
Yeah, no, he's at corner house. He
All right.
walked from my Laura's area.
I'm going to mute Chris in the meantime. We don't need to know where his kids are at. When he gets done, he can give us a wave at us or something. Let us know.
But wire antennas are a good thing. There's different ones, and I'm going to play with one right now. Well, eventually I'm going to get to it. Although the dipole, they work. It's not something I want to build. I could. But I'm going to have the parts for it, the unknowns and everything, so eventually I will.
And that's where I'm at. People keep saying do we use a dipole? It's like very rarely do I go out and just use one band. So I'm thinking of how I'm going to do like a link dipole type thing, so I can switch between bands easy. And we're going to do that project on that new desk. I'm going to record it. It's going to be a video, so I'll probably have the video out before the activation because we know how active I've been on parks on the air. This is the first day I've actively done 2 park activations in a day in almost a year and a half, I think.
hey, let's just put it this way: for the last year, I've had a K6 ARK 20-meter end fed sitting in a bag. I haven't even opened it yet.
I've got a Cartena 49-1 that sits in my box. I could have strung that up today.
Yeah, and I have a bunch of wires sitting in the cabinet over there with the 2 unknowns sitting on top of it.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I went with the vertical that I can set up in about a minute.
Yeah, I still use my ham sticks because they're simple.
Well, here's the funny. I was yesterday morning. Was it? Yeah, it was yesterday morning. I got up at 3:30 in the morning. Couldn't fall back to sleep. Right. What's the worst thing to watch at 3:30 in the morning on YouTube?
Me.
Ham radio
Nope.
video.
Chuck building antennas.
Chuck.
Oh yeah.
KK6
USY.
USY.
You know what? I sat there for 3 hours watching very diligently everything he was doing.
Hey, let's not tell Chuck, but he makes me want to build a Moxon. I want
watched
to
Three
build
Element.
a Moxon.
3 Element. I watched him build. You'll never see me build a 3.
A Moxon is in the future. How far in the future? I don't know. But I want one, and I want to take it out portable.
KB9 VBR built one too, I think. Because they kind of talk, those 2 guys talk together.
And he's not that far away from you, Ben.
Who, Chuck?
No.
VBR?
KB9 VBR?
Yeah.
He's close. He's really close to you.
No, he isn't.
He's
Where's
in
he at?
Wausau.
Yeah, he's in Wausau.
Is he in Wausau?
Yeah.
I thought he was south. I thought he was in Madison.
No.
Wausau.
Says
it in his videos.
Rib Mountain State Park is like next door to him. That's
Yeah,
why he has so many. That's why he has so many videos from Rib Mountain.
And plus, I don't know if his work thing, his work life is like, but he has a lot of time. He goes camping a lot, so
Yeah.
that's pretty cool and something that I would like to do eventually.
I'm not saying the wife and I are getting ideas for campers, but we have gone to Camping World a few times and looked around what we would like to do eventually.
Oh yeah.
After we put a new bay window in the house because we just lost 2 panes of glass on that.
What happened?
The little one swears it wasn't him, but
Wasn't me, Daddy. I didn't do it.
and thank gosh, I'm glad it wasn't the big pane. It was the side. It was the side panes that move up and down with the window screens.
Yep.
But still, we're looking at that, and we're like, yeah, we got to get that replaced. That's probably going to be a next summer project. We've got it secure for now.
Yeah, I understand because I just did some a very expensive project beginning of the summer. So
What are we watching over there, Chris?
I don't know. It's the daughter. She's on my lap. She's quiet. That's all that matters.
put some headphones on, girl.
Yeah. Well, that's Dad needs some headphones and she needs some headphones. So I need headphones for 2 reasons. She
Yeah.
needs headphones for 1 reason.
This is what's going on here.
I see that. She's the one that took my AirPods and pulled them apart.
So you took, wow.
Yeah.
Ask her when she's going to get a job to pay you back for those.
Yeah, it's gonna be a while.
Start selling some lemonade, girl.
Yeah, I'm not going with anything Bluetooth anymore because with the insulin pump, even like basically putting like a YouTube stream on my truck radio cuts my insulin pump from talking to my phone, which uploads all my blood sugars to the doctor.
Yeah, there's.
I'm like, yeah, well, and then Hayden posted a video about a it's probably a year or so old, but a diabetic was complaining that a ham radio operator freaking cut out the bolus supply to her insulin pump. And
I
I'm
remember
going,
that.
guess what? Not happen. I'm around them all the time.
Yep.
So I will be right back, gentlemen.
All right. People are gonna complain and stuff no matter what.
Yeah, they'll complain about anything. I mean, they're Karens out there, and the world revolves around them. So
I haven't gotten any complaints about my G5RV in a while. I'm actually kind of shocked.
but they look to blame anything that could be the cause, even though if it's not, they need a scapegoat to blame. They need something to blame. Just like in the real world of politics, they need something to blame. So they're going to go with the easiest target.
He's a ham. It's radio waves doing this. Gosh, if you knew how many radio waves were actually batting your house at any moment.
Radio waves, and besides everything that you have in your house, like your phone, your TV, your internet router. How many radios are in a typical person's house?
Yeah, exactly. And I've tried explaining that to some people when they're like, "Well, radio."
Smartphones have at least, I'll say three radios: cellular, Bluetooth, Wi-Fi.
Mm-hmm.
Wi-Fi. 3. There you go.
People, when I see my HF rigs or my 2 meter 440 rigs, we're getting waved at. And I laugh and I'm like, if you could actually see radio waves, you would not be able to see your hand. And they're like, what do you mean? I'm like, that is how much radio wave output is out there. I mean, it's constant. I mean,
everybody says you're by a radio wave, you're getting cancer, and I'm like,
how are we all not getting cancer then?
I sat in an ambulance where you have 1,500 watt hours going out the damn rig with lights and sirens and everything else. How do I not have cancer?
And besides the fact that Ben said that there's radio waves everywhere that you couldn't, if you could see them, you wouldn't be able to look at your hand or see your hand. Radio waves don't go from if this is an antenna, it doesn't go right there. It's like a big wave that comes around.
It's a wave.
Targeted things like your satellite TV isn't it a target right to your satellite? It's like targets half the country basically.
It's not like the laser systems that some of the military uses, the laser radio and stuff like that. It's not a pinpoint target. What we've been using is what's been going around probably since the 30s,
Yep.
if not
20s.
earlier, 20s. Yeah, I mean,
Well,
and it's only gotten more intense as technology develops, because every time you get a wireless anything, wireless means radio wave, people. How do you think it's wireless? It's a radio wave. It's a wireless communication, a radio communication of some kind.
well, and I won a Retivis RB 689 on TO stream the one week, and I'm going, okay, this is GMRS, so I'm looking at the programming stuff. I'm like, I can't program the damn repeater. I can't program the damn repeater. I can't, I'm doing that old. Come on, let me. They gave me all the stuff I needed. Chirp doesn't support it, so I'm like, okay, there's got to be a cheat somewhere. Well, I figured out the cheat. Now I just gotta futz with it, which I'll be doing tomorrow night. Because as soon as I get him hooked up, he can at least talk on the GMRS repeaters. If I'm out and about, I can hear him and come home if he doesn't, because he doesn't have a cell phone yet.
Yeah, there you go.
So
actually,
yeah.
the other day when we went and got the a car from my folks,
Yeah.
these little FRS repeaters worked really good.
Oh yeah.
I took them with, and when my wife got in the other car, I'm like, here, and she goes, what? I'm like, we're not even going to bother with our cell phones. And she's like, well, what's the range on them? I'm like, let's test it. It was line of sight. She was 5 miles down the road. I could still see the tail end. I could still see her tail end. It was clear as day. The moment we got in the Marshalltown and I lost sight of her, I lost signal.
Yeah.
But we were going down the interstate. These are good. If you got to take multiple vehicles and you plan on staying close together, good car-to-car communications.
Oh yeah.
Just cheap FRS radios.
I've used those in the past for that, and it works great.
Yeah.
This one the radio I'll program in all the FRS channels, or a bunch of the FRS channels, with 1 1 2 2 3, like that kind of stuff. And then the last two, I will put the two repeaters I belong to here in town that he can jump on if he wants.
No. I'm hoping my oldest wants to get his tech license, because from my house I can hit down the repeaters down by his mom's, and I can just give him a cheap Baofeng, and then he could have decent communication to both sites. If he's at his mom's, he could talk to that repeater down there, and I could talk to him. And if he's on the road, he'll be between the two of them, between the two repeaters, Newton or Pella, I could get him either way. But until then,
yep,
just got a weather alert. 1 day convective outlook. I'm not worried. Yeah. So shoot. No. I gotta get working on some more radio stuff. I really do.
Yeah, I wanted to shoot like a non-porta video. Probably like a little quick video on my new radio.
Yeah.
Haven't gotten to that yet.
No. Listen, it's just a phone number for Miles, okay?
I had to mute Chris again. We're going to get phone numbers and everything here shortly.
Yeah. But it would have been a quick video, and haven't done it.
Well, that's kind of been what's going on with the vlog. Honestly, the vlog has been helping me more than you guys even know. Honest Outlaw just posted. If you haven't seen Honest Outlaw, if you like 2A, he is a Iowa 2A YouTuber. And I'm getting notifications left and right here. But you guys can't hear him because they're in that Bluetooth headset.
He hisses at them, and I think it's...
But, no, it's, crap, what was I going to say? The vlog stuff, I started that just because, one, I really do, I don't know if anyone knows this, but I really do enjoy making videos. And there was a year there where I was out doing POTA every week. Right now, I can't do that. And it sucks because if I'm not doing POTA every week, if I'm not filming content every week, then I'm not sitting here learning and growing, editing and stuff. And I don't know if anyone's noticed, but if you go back to the 2010 Duratio Storm Spot, which is on the video or on the channel, and you go to the latest vlog I just did, if you cannot tell a difference in how much I have grown in that time period in video editing, I don't know what to do for you.
I love video editing. I love it. I just like get really into it and lose track of time.
And
But
see,
I can't do that.
I love to hate it. I really do. I get so tedious, and I get to the point where I hate it because it's like I want to do more. I don't know how to do it. It gets frustrating, and then it's like, you know what? The video's done. I'm just moving on at this point. That being said, I got footage from today for 2 parks, and then I got some lids, which I might make famous.
I love doing that. I love putting people on the spot or spotlighting them, showing them to the public. And like, there are alpha hotels out there. Don't be an alpha hotel. I enjoy it. It doesn't happen all the time. But
so
when
what
you have the
happened?
camera running and it happens, it's gold.
So what happened was I was switching up to 20 meters from 17. I didn't even turn the radio off. I just turned over to 20 meters. The frequency in which the radio was on is where these guys were. So I extended the whip all the way out. Like I said, didn't unhook the radio, didn't unhook the antenna. I know all the way that MSA 1979 fully extended, I'm going to have under 1.5 to 1 SWR. I don't even put a meter on it. So then I hit record on the phone. I go down and note there's nothing bent on the radio. I was at a 0.5. So if they would have been on the even that even frequency, I would have still heard them 0.5 away because it would have been over splatter. I went to the even frequency, didn't hear anything, called out, is this frequency in use? And I had 7 people respond to me, and it was funny as all get out. Turn off the radio, you should listen, yada, yada, yada. I'm like, hey, I just spun over here. And I've been on the frequency at least for a minute. Because, turn the radio on, didn't touch the frequency, and it was, like I said, it was on the half. It was like at the 3.5, and it was 3.1.
If you can hear,
splatter.
If you can still hear that frequency, and you're not hearing anything, you don't have to be exactly on it.
Yeah.
If you're like 0.5 off, and you don't hear anything, and then you adjust it a little bit or whatever, and just say, is it in use? They're not using it. Then they might be sitting there. Let's say they're pulling their puds with something, and they come back and say, yeah, we're using it. Maybe they're all pulling their puds together. I don't know.
Well, it would have been one thing if they would have came back and say, hey, it's in use. And like, all right, I'll go elsewhere. But no, with the way they came back, there were some guys being real,
alpha hotels.
Yeah, alpha hotels. It was like 5 of them at once, and I'm pretty sure that they were yelling at each other at some point because they all respond at the same time, so they can't hear each other.
Yeah.
While they're talking to me, I queue up and I go, "Hey, I asked if it was in use. Trying to be courteous. You don't have to be dicks. Obviously, this is in use. I'm QSY."
See, those kind of people give ham radio a bad name. That's why I like to spotlight them, to put them in the public's eye.
That's what chases people like Chris away, who doesn't have his
Well,
gender.
yes, it's better to know that they're out there and to avoid them than picking the frequency, calling at the frequency in use, and having 20 people freaking come back to you, yelling and screaming at you. So if you're aware of that could happen, then you're not too shocked and frightened by it.
Yeah.
But if you don't know anything about it, you think everything's a happy little rainbow with little dancing unicorns and all that other stuff, and that happens to you.
Hey, Jeff, take those unicorns and shove them.
I'd like to go. I never remember to do it, but I like to go to the frequency that the grumpy old hams are on, or the frequencies that they're on, and just give a listen. Maybe put out a message or a comment or something. I don't know. But I just never
7,200.
remember to do it.
Oh, sorry. Did I say that out loud? 7,200.
I know it's like 80 meters, but I don't remember what frequency.
Oh, I know that one. Yeah, too.
Just because, like I've said before, you should treat others how you want to be treated. Now, I work off of people's energy. When you come yelling at me, if I'm not on the radio, I'm going to come back and yell at you. And if you push me down, I'm getting up and putting a hole through you, because that is called self-defense. I'm going to have to do that in real life. I cannot do that on the radio.
Well, that's why.
On the radio and recording, I will act like a perfect gentleman and take the trash that's being thrown at me. Try to help the other person understand if possible. If not, try to aggravate him more somehow to get a bigger rise out of him. Because that's video gold, baby.
Yeah.
Video gold.
And that's why I said it's like if they would have came back and were like, hey, it's in use. I'm like, I would have been like, fine. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. I'm out of here. See ya. But the fact they came back, and I'm pretty sure one of them did try to come back that real nice. And I'm like I said, there was like 5 people talking at once. When I get the footage out there, you'll see like at one point I think they were yelling at each other. A couple of them were yelling at each other, not yelling at me. But they're all talking at once, so they can't hear each other. But I was hey, you don't need to be a dick. I asked if it was in use, trying to be courteous. It's in use. I'm QSY. Bye.
And especially, I had that happen last year when I was on my 9/10 Park Grove here in Delaware.
Yeah.
Propagation just changed. It's fine 1 minute. It's fine for like 15, 20 minutes. Then all of a sudden, I'm interfering with the net, and the European guy, was just a complete alpha hotel about it. I mean, like, stuff happens. You can't just freaking. Of course, I had to do what I do in the video, and I did what I did, and I think it was freaking gold.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, and I don't spend a lot of time at the parks. I'm out for 20 contacts, and I'm gone.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like, I'm only going to be there 20 minutes. Yes. And the thing is, it's even if, and I've come up on frequency, hey, is this in use? And they're like, hey, we're going to start a night here in 15 minutes. I'm like, well, I don't know how long it's going to take for this. I'm going to leave. Even though my second park I activated today was 15 minutes.
Now
I set up and was 15 minutes from first call to last call, from the last call. So if they say there's a net starting in a half hour, I completely could do it in a half hour. But I'm not going to take that risk. I'm going to be a gentleman and move else. But when I ask if the frequency is in use and you come at me hard, I'm going to snap back. And if I got it on video, boy, a lot of people are going to see it.
Yeah. There's also some people out there, some other amateurs that are ambassadors to the hobby. Whiskey 3 Foxtrot. Bud from Buddy Pole.
Mm-hmm.
Every day he's on 24.970, I believe it is. And him and his friends from all over the world get on there at 2 p.m. Eastern, which I'm not even going to worry about UTC right now, but 2 p.m. Eastern, figure it all out, and talk on 12 meters. And twice, not even knowing that even the second time around, I didn't even know I was on that frequency. I go out, I see, is this frequency in use 3 times, 4 times, whatever. And I hear nothing. And then all of a sudden I hear him. It's like, is this frequency in use? I'm like, hey, I was about to do an activation. He is the nicest freaking guy. He says, it's documented on my videos. I'm part of this group. We basically send signal reports back to each other, see how the propagation is. You're more than welcome to join. And completely invited me in.
Oh, yeah.
Such a friendly and nice guy. I will never have a bad thing to say about him until I find out about a bad thing about them.
I will say
He's a great man.
the HF Christian net, they do an HF Christian net on, I think, 20 meters or 40 meters. I got on that frequency one day and they invited me to join. And I'm like, oh, no, I'll just go. And then there was one day I saw them and they were wrapping up. Well, like a gentleman, when I heard him call, I waited about 30 seconds and I'm like, I'm like, hey, this is Kilo Zero Bravo Juliet. Is the net over? And they're like, and the net control came back and they're like, yeah. And they're like, I'm like, all right, because I kind of want to use the frequency. I just want to make sure you guys are done before I, you call out if it's in use. He goes, nope, it's all yours. He goes, why don't you come on earlier next time and join us? I'm like, yeah, I'll think about it. You know what I mean? But
There
I mean,
are a lot of.
That's what we need to do as hams.
Yeah, there are a lot of alpha hotels out there, but there probably are more or just about the same amount of nice people out there, ambassadors of the hobby, friendly people. You just hear about the bad stuff more than the good stuff.
Well, and it's because, we never talk, you never remember the real good stuff, or you never actively remember the good stuff. It's that thing that emotionally charged you and ticked you off.
Yep.
So,
you know what's really emotionally ticking me off lately?
Kids?
Barter sausage?
Not hearing anybody on the national calling frequency.
Oh, get used to it.
Mm-hmm.
I was running an hour from Union Grove State Park. I called out on 3 repeaters and it was on 5-2 the whole time. Guess what I heard?
Nothing.
Bupkis.
Drove
So
5 hours from Delaware to Virginia. 0.
There's people that when I'm sitting here and I just have the radio on, they'll be going by on the interstate, and they'll be like, "You're the first person I've heard since I've hit Iowa." I'm like, "Oh, which way are you going, east or west?" And it doesn't matter. I mean, I had one guy said he took off from Wyoming, and I was the first person he had heard on 5-2 since Wyoming. Depending where he was at in Wyoming, that was 10 to 12 hours. So he crossed the entire state of Nebraska. Like I said, I don't know where he was in Wyoming. From here to Rollins, Wyoming is 12 hours. I drove it. I know. So I don't know where he was in Wyoming, but that's 12, 14 hours where he didn't hear anyone on 146.52. I was the first person he had heard that day.
Wow.
And he was sitting there. He's like, yeah, I'm just calling out every 15 minutes. So kudos to the people that do that because, yeah, that's what we need more of, but it's just the way it is.
Like they say about the repeaters, just throwing your call sign out there. If you do it on a regular basis and you tell people that you're doing it, you're going to get more people to show up, hopefully.
Yeah.
Just like on the repeaters. You put your call sign out there, you tried, you attempted, you say you do it every hour, you have the time. You do it every hour on the hour or whatever, and no one comes back to you. But maybe the word gets out like, hey, Chris KD9YSW calls out on 14652 every day for every hour on the top of the hour. So give him a holler. So eventually, if you put the information out there, it'll happen. So it's just people in the area that don't listen to it on a regular basis.
Like this morning, I didn't hear anything come over that Badger weather net. So I got on the Wecom repeater out of Plymouth, and I said, test. That's all I was doing was a test out of work because I didn't know if my radio would reach out of the steel and cement building. Little rubber ducky.
Mm-hmm.
And I was by a window, so it went out. He goes, oh, yeah, that's fine. It's 45 degrees here in Randolph, Wisconsin, which is right in the middle of the damn state. I'm like, okay, thanks. I was just wondering, I was trying to listen in on the Badger Net and, Weather Net and see what's going on. They were up on HF yet, getting all the reports from like Superior and all that stuff way on the north end of the state. So it's Jeff, if you ever get a chance, look up the Wisconsin It's WECOM, the Wisconsin Repeater Network, and basically it's splattered throughout the state. They got, I think it's 12 total repeaters, and some are digital, some are just regular analog, but they're all connected. So you can basically talk from Madison up to, damn near Superior, where the last one is. And, some places have better coverage than others.
Yep.
The way it is.
Well, hey guys, we're at the end of the hour. We're actually in overtime right now. So I do need to get some sleep because I have a early morning at work tomorrow, and it's going to be a busy morning because, yeah, all the businesses have made deposits into a certain box that I need to get into tomorrow. And that usually occupies me most of the day. So that being said, we're going to wrap up the stream. Hopefully we'll see you next time. I plan on being here next week. I plan on it. I don't think anything's going on.
I'll be camping.
Well,
I'll be gone. I got to find an HF rig real quick.
good for you, Chris. No. All right. We'll see everyone next time. 7-3. Ta-ta.